Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Lynn Wilson and welcome to my pantry. So I am in the process of cleaning out my pantry, destashing, going through expiration dates, going through stuff I'm not going to use. I'm going through stuff I have no idea why I have it, all that good stuff. And I know, many people will say, of course you can use it past the expiration date. I know you can, but let me just say, there are some things I don't use past the expiration date, and I'll explain why in a moment. And, to each his own. Some things you can use past the expiration date to a point. Other things I wouldn't do that. You kind of have to live and learn, see what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and so on. So what I wanted to talk to you about, I wanted to do a couple of videos this week. One is I'm in the process of cleaning it out. Last night, I spent probably about 2 hours going through my pantry and sorting it out, going through every can, every bottle, everything, and checking expiration dates and marking what expiration dates for each item, what's the valid expiration date. And if you did not see my video, I have a simple way that I do it. It's color-coded, it's simple, it's stickers from the Dollar Tree. As a matter of fact, I got my stickers right here and my trusty Sharpie from the Dollar Tree. That's how I color code for the most part. Was getting a little lazy last night and doing it a little different, but let me just say, I'll link that in the description below, that video, in case you go, how in the world do you sort? Do you this? Now, let me just say, let me give you a little background about my family. So currently we are 3 living in the house. I have 3 children, so it used to be 5 of us. My parents were here probably 4 out of 7 nights a week. Sometimes my dad was here 5 days a week hanging out when my mom was volunteering at an organization, so my dad would hang out all day. So we could potentially have had, over the last several years, 3 to 7 people in the house eating on the regular, snacks, meals, beverages, all that good stuff. Then my kids would have their friends over, so take that 7 up to about 10. So I was used to cooking for 7 to 10 people on the regular. Over the last couple of years, my parents have gotten older, have come less. Now in the last 18-ish months, they haven't been to my house at all. But we do cook and take it to them. So as much as we're not cooking or feeding them at the house, we do make meals and bring it over to their home. And my older 2 kids are married, they're out of the house, so they're not here on the regular, as well as their friends aren't coming here. And my youngest has gotten older and taste buds have changed. He is autistic, so if you have anyone with special needs, or especially autism, there's Picky Annie, they only do, that's it. All that to say, my pantry went from being a certain size and a certain level of products that I had on the regular to, I don't need those products anymore. I'll explain as we go through the video. Anyway, we're cleaning out. So I cleaned out last night all the expired, which wasn't too many things, I'm happy to say, and all the things that I know I'm not going to use, destashed, and now I'm getting in the process of putting things in, and we are very blessed. I need to say, at work, I work for a nonprofit organization. People think of us often as the staff, and they donate. Last week we had a whole big donation from Trader Joe's. So we got bags of lettuce, I got eggs, I got apples, I got cantaloupe, melon, grapes, mozzarella cheese. I can't even remember all that was available to us. Pizza crust, long pizza crust, all kinds of stuff. That was donated to the staff. Other times we seem to get a lot of eggs donated, which is very nice. And then other times we'll get bread donated. We used to have an organization that would donate Entenmann's, cakes and muffins and all that good stuff. We haven't had that in a while, but we just get donations at work. So that's one source. I have a friend that goes to the food banks, and she's a family of 1. So they tend to load you up. And right now in New Jersey, at least, our food banks are pretty well stocked and tend to say, here, take more. So they would give her an overabundance. And she would give me her overabundance, which I share with my mom and another friend, and then I keep sharing it, whatever we can't use. And then my mom has someone that has, I don't know, they go through another organization and they bring her food. We had somebody on church on Sunday, said they were thinking of us. They gave us a box of snacks, like nuts and granola bars and applesauce and some good stuff like that. So over the past couple of years, we've had people donate to us in various ways, which means my pantry fills up very quickly with odds and ends. And especially during the whole last 18 months of craziness that the entire world has lived through, I remembered saying to my husband, you know, that panic buying, we gotta buy. There's not gonna be any blah, 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 fill in the blank. And I know that I stick to my faith, and I've shared this many times, and the Bible says, I will supply all your needs. And I know it here, or I should say I know it here, but sometimes in my heart of hearts, I know that my needs have been provided for. But sometimes in the brain, you get doubts and you get worries and you get fears, which I shouldn't have. But you know, I'm a human being and I'm one working mama, and I have many people to, got a gnat flying around here. Many people to take care of. And so I tend to worry and panic. Is that right? No, I should not be doing that. We have not gone without. And if it's nothing else, proof to me for the past 18 months of, you know, when there was no toilet paper and there was no paper towels, we never ran out of toilet paper and we never ran out of paper towels. There was no flour. I never ran out of flour. There was no pancake mix. I never ran out of pancake mix. Whatever you can fill in the blank. Even at one point, I could not find ramen noodles anywhere. And I shared this on a video months and months and months ago. So I posted it on my Facebook. Does anyone know where I can get ramen? When you have, again, an autistic son and there's certain foods they eat, it's like ritualistic. I'm saying that correctly, that they have to have certain things. Well, by the end of 24-hour span, we had, I want to say, over 30 of those, you know, the big boxes of ramen. It was so much, I thought we would never get through it. It was that much ramen. It was amazing. People were generous. We had one person said, I have 2 boxes, I'll bring them over. She said, I'll leave it on your back doorstep and I'll ring the doorbell. You don't even have to get the door. We went out there. There was juice, there was water, there was ramen, there were meats, there were vegetables. This woman gave us like a week's worth of groceries, just as a gift. I had another friend that's in our autism support group said, we have 2 boxes for you, and meet us, and we were gonna meet in Toms River at a Kohl's and go pick them up there. We went over there, I had money in hand. They refused the money, they would not take the money. We had mysteriously ramen just appear from nowhere on our doorstep. I had a coworker, he said, oh, I bought all this ramen, I thought I'd eat it, and I'm going to the gym now and I don't want the carbs. Here, take it. And there was probably 30 little individual packages. It was just amazing. And for me to sit here and tell you that we are in need, we are not in need. We are truly blessed. Now, with that being said, I need to be clear and tell you, when you're in need, you're in need. And when you're down and out and you're out of work and money's tight, or you've become ill and you can't work or whatever, you learn to also eat what you have. And so we don't have prime rib sitting in the freezer. I have chopped meat. And we don't have gourmet meals. I have plain chicken. And I've learned to adapt my menus and my recipes based on the foods that I have in my pantry. I'm not complaining, but just saying sometimes you have to be creative and all that kind of good stuff. So what's this video all about? Why am I sitting in my pantry? Okay, number one, I'm cleaning it out, which I've done, and you'll see that on my next video. I'm going to be having a clean out, destash, and replenish. I took a picture or video of what it looked like. It was a disaster. You pull everything out. None of us are at fault. We're all at fault. I can't blame my husband or my son. And the same, they can't blame me. We've all been in and out. You know, you don't pay attention, you're busy, you grab, things fall over. You know how it is. So first of all, you'll see that video up and coming where it's a mess. Then you'll see me sorting through it and reorganizing it and then filling it up with, we have been given another bounty of odds and ends of food, and I'm just looking around, just cans of vegetables and pasta and just stuff like that. So I'll put that away. I also have a small unboxing from Walmart to help with the pantry. You'll see that. And then I have a video after that of cheap meals from the pantry, and I'll explain that a little bit more. Hopefully that'll be of some help to you guys. So what's in my pantry is frugal, practical, everyday foods that you will eat. It is not full with expensive items. It's not full of gourmet items. It's full of practical things that you eat on the regular. So what is this video about? Again, I'm calling it Pantry Pandemic Do's and Don'ts. And this is what I am thinking through with myself. What are the do's and don'ts? What have I learned? Why did I start a pantry stockpile? Well, many, many years ago, over 30 years ago, I was terrible with budgeting and organizing and sorting out food and menus and all that stuff. It was just a mess. I was a mess. Young mom, didn't know what I was doing. We hit some really hard times. There was no money. When I say there was no money, if I had $1, I was rich. There was no money. There was no money for anything, including food. So needless to say, one time we ran out of food. And I had one can of soup left, just one little can. I think I'm looking around. It was a can, you know, kind of this size, chicken noodle soup. And I had a handful of saltine crackers. That was all I had left. There was nothing. There was no milk. There was no butter. There was nothing. And I had to feed. My husband had to go to work, and my one son was a little guy. I'm thinking, I don't know, 3. I don't know how old he was. And I needed to feed him. And this was it. This was dinner. And I didn't know what else to do other than I needed to skip a meal because my husband needed to be able to feed himself. Where he was working at the time, he got free food. So on the shift he was going in, he could get free meals. So I knew he would be taken care of. And to be honest with you, obviously my son is now married, fine, everything. Somehow the Lord took care of us. But I don't remember. I think maybe if I remember correctly, the next day was payday and I was able to get stuff. I don't remember. But I know that moment stuck out in my mind that I ran out of food. And I promised myself that would never happen again. And I have a video on how to start a stockpile on $5. Now, for some of you, you might be giggling and saying, what's $5 going to get me? You know, you might have a lot more money to work with. There are many people out there that don't have $5. Maybe you only have $1. So listen, if you have $1, you're going to start your stockpile with $1. That's one more item that you have that you didn't have before you started your stockpile. You need to have a stockpile. You need to have a pantry. I'm not saying you need to have 10 years worth of food, 20 years worth of food. I know people that are into all the dehydrated things and they stock up for 20 years. I know people that are into this, I don't know people, I've heard of people into more of a doomsday stockpile. You gotta have, that's not me. I'm not going, that's yay or nay. I'm just saying it's not me. My pantry is practical. It's here to feed my family, to sustain my family. Why do I have a stockpile? Number one, because I ran out of food once. I don't want to do that again. I don't want to put myself under that or my family under that and be stressed out. Number two, I want to be a blessing. So we've had people that have gotten sick, had surgery, depressed, loved one died, something, whatever. I can go in my pantry and gather a few bits and pieces, put it together in a bag, and listen, I can make a homemade loaf of bread or banana bread and put it in there, or don't. I can just pull some canned goods and some things, give it to them with a note, and be a blessing to somebody. As well as I just think, and again, I go back to my own personal faith and relationship that I have with my Lord, that he tells me to be a wise woman and to build her house. I need to build a house. I need to be wise. I don't need to be foolish. We need food in the house. We need to eat. I work full time, take care of older parents. I have 2 older parents that I take care of. My husband is on disability, and my youngest son is special needs. So I have a plate full, no pun intended, but I have a plate full of needs, and I have to work full time. I need to have food in the house that I can grab and go. Do I always listen to myself and say, look, you have all this stuff, why are you ordering out? No, sometimes I have to do DoorDash or I have to do takeout for my own sanity that I don't have to cook. But we're getting back to using what's in the pantry. Okay, so some pantry pandemic do's and don'ts that I have learned. Number 1, if you don't get anything out of this, number 1, don't panic buy. Did I panic buy? Yes. Why did I panic buy? I don't know. I got caught up in the little chatter of, oh, you got to go get, you got to do this. Did you hear about that? Did you hear this shortage? And all that stuff, the chatter. Between people on YouTube and the news and just standing online to get a gallon of milk and all the chatter and all these people panicking, you know, I know better, but I got caught up in that a little bit. Not too bad, but there were things that I bought that, you know, trying to think through, like, if we can't get XYZ, what could I get in place of it? So some of those things I bought because it was more of a panic thought. Most of it, I'd say about 90% of it we used. Some of it I gave away. Some of it I still have, but you know, don't be panic buying. Don't do that. Number 2, I wrote down some notes last night. I was thinking about this as I was cleaning out the pantry, and I was talking to my husband about this. And buy what you normally eat or similar. For example, now I didn't do this, but I had to think of something really practical. Don't buy 20 cans of sardines because you can get them for 69 cents a can at Walmart when you hate fish. I don't like fish. Why would I buy 20 cans of sardines? Well, you know, you got to get canned meat, and again, go back to the panic buying. You got to have stuff. I don't even know if I was starving if I would eat sardines. Like, you know, really, Lynn? Come on. You're not going to eat sardines. Don't buy them. So don't be buying things you don't like. But what could I buy? I like tuna fish. Okay, buy tuna. Buy cans of other types of meat. I love, oh, what's that? Devil's food ham? I think that's the name of it. I know most people kind of, I talk to, like, you eat that? I like it. So buy things like that. Buy things that you know you will definitely eat, or someone in your family. Don't be buying things just because it's on sale, because you're panic buying, whatever the case might be. Buy things that you will definitely use. Now, again, you know, we went through a situation where not everything was available. No problem. If you can't get tuna, maybe get canned chicken, or, you know, look for alternatives that would be similar, but things you would still definitely eat. All right. Mark the expiration dates. Yeah, I had a video on this. I'm a big advocate for this. You've got to know your expiration dates. You've got to rotate your foods and all that, and I didn't do it. So, here's one, and I have the sticker on it. Again, I will link in the description below how I do this. This is not till June 2022. So pineapple slices, don't use them that often. They were a freebie, so I kept them. I can make, you know, all kinds of recipes with this. I can make breads with this. I can make muffins. I can make a chicken dish. I can make a dessert, yada, yada, yada. So I have it. It's good till June 2022. I have marked it. I did get lazy at some point, and I was getting tired of doing the stickers. So I just wrote, you can see on there 23. That's 2023. I probably should write the month because I'm like OCD about that. This is July. So let's get the Sharpie out while we're sitting here chatting, and I will put 7/23. So then I know that chicken is good until then. So definitely, as soon as you get your stuff, mark your expiration dates. Always rotate your food. Always. I'm at fault for not doing that, and I caused myself some grief because I had to throw some things out. How do you rotate your food? Number 1, you need to shop from your pantry. Yes, I'm preaching to the choir here. Like, Lynn, listen to what you're telling your viewers. Shop from your pantry. You're hungry, you need to make dinner, go to your pantry. If it's not in your kitchen cabinets, maybe your pantry is in your kitchen cabinets. Maybe you don't have room for a separate. I have one coat closet in my entire house. I'm in an old 100-year-old house. It's a rental. I cannot renovate it. I have one closet, one hall closet. And there's not a lot of closet space. We've converted it for the convenience of having the food. We've converted it to a pantry. So make do with what you can. I also have a video on storage spaces, you know, for small space storage spaces for pantries. But you have to shop from here. Go in here and grab, you want to make tuna casserole, grab the noodles, grab the can of peas, grab the tuna, whatever you have, and shop from your pantry and use that up. Because then when you go food shopping, you can look, how's the tuna? Do I need to get tuna? Do I need to get this, that, and the next thing? And then as you shop from your pantry, obviously you're going to be rotating your foods. You want to pull, you know, the other ones from the back when you go grocery shopping, put the new ones, you know, behind it, and so on. Okay, make a 2-week menu from your pantry. We're going to go over that in a video at the end of the week on cheap meals from your pantry, and I will explain that more on that video. Make a list of the foods that weren't eaten. This is something I thought about. You know, I need to have a little cheat sheet here up on the wall that says don't buy. You know, I'll give you an example. I love rice cakes. These are caramel rice cakes. Now these are a treat, like if you want a sweet snack and you're on a diet and you're trying to be really good. This is great. But I have about 8 packages of these. Someone gave them to me. I'll never eat 8 packages of caramel rice cakes. I like rice cakes with avocado and the everything seasoning on it. I like it with peanut butter on it. I like it with cream cheese on it. I like it to have it for breakfast. I am not one to put avocados on caramel rice cakes. So if I had bought these again, these were free, and I'll be sharing these with other people, but you know what? I'm not going to be using those. So make a note of things that maybe you thought you would use. I forget. I'm like, did we ever eat that? Did we like that? So I need to make a list of things like, Lynn, don't buy these again. Don't overbuy. You know, make a list for yourself of the things that you just forget. You know, time goes by and you forget. Make a list of the things that go fast. We go through ramen, ranch dressing, honey mustard. What else? I don't know. I can't think. I'm looking around here. Macaroni and cheese. Notice, you know, all the carbs here? Yes, my youngest son. But go through a list of the things that you go through quickly, that you can make sure that maybe, you know, instead of 2 boxes of that, maybe I need 4 boxes of that. Maybe you can't afford 4 boxes this month. You can only afford to get 2 boxes. That's okay. But still make a list so when you have the extra funds, you can go, let me check that list of maybe things I can stock up on better. Make an inventory list. I don't care how you make your inventory list, whether you have a check sheet, an Excel spreadsheet, whatever works. I kind of rotate. Sometimes it works for me this way. Sometimes it works for me that way. I don't really have a foolproof system on that. I just kind of rotate with what works for me. But have some type of an inventory list so that when you run out of tin foil, it's on some type of a list. Okay, another thing would be to use airtight containers or long-term storage containers. I have, I'll have to show you another, well, maybe you could see it here a little bit. These are actually dog food bins, and they come with a large bin, and then you get a smaller one you put on top and they fit. I keep my rice in here, my pasta, my cereal, things like that, so no critters get in here. I've also used my coolers, you know, big red Igloo coolers, the giant ones. You can put stuff in there, nothing's gonna nibble through that plastic. It's great. I store my flour in there, my sugars and things like that in there, like my extra over and above. Again, whatever works for you, what you can afford. This is not something you're gonna run out and do right away, but what's another thing? Share what you don't want or you will not use. Don't be a hoarder. If you know you bought 20 packs of caramel rice cakes because you panic bought and you know you're never going to eat all those. Don't keep them in your pantry and then they expire or they go buggy or whatever because you bought them. Listen, if you bought them and you wasted the money, you wasted the money. You'll never get the money back. There's nothing you can do. They're not doing you any good sitting on your pantry shelf. Move it along. Bless somebody else with it. Find friends. I have a network of people that we share food with. You know, I have stuff. What do you need? What can I help you with? Do you want this stuff? We give each other a bag of food. Take what you want. Pass on the rest. There's probably 6-ish of us that kind of do this network of sharing food. Why not? You know, why not bless somebody else with it? What other notes do I have? Expiration dates. I give you an example. Let me see. I bought these things and I got these these are great. I used to get these all the time when I was working and I was single. They're pre-made meals. They're called Completes, ready in 60 seconds, microwavable. And I think they're like $2 by Hormel. And this is chicken and mashed potatoes with gravy, and this is a beef stew. These are good, like for me at work. There are days I can't get away for a break, or I forget to bring lunch or whatever, or you know what? You just don't want to cook at night. You've got something like this. You can always add an extra side dish or a salad to it. But note to self, I bought probably 8 of them all at one time. Some expired in March, some expired in July, this one is June, and some were October. I should have checked all the expiration dates and got the one that was the longest, you know, expired. So I bought a bunch of these and I had to organize them by expiration dates. But check the expiration dates as you're purchasing food so you can get the longest shelf life out of it as you can. Okay, what are some other notes I have here that I can tell you? Let me look. I have wrote down a bunch. One good tip my husband had was taste buds change. Yes, they do. Not only for your kids, but for yourself. So we were on a mayonnaise kick. My son was on a mayonnaise kick. Everything had mayonnaise, everything. So mayonnaise was on sale. What did I do? I went and bought a ton of mayonnaise. Not a ton, but I got 6 of them. Well, mayonnaise does not have a super long shelf life. Again, check expiration dates. I probably bought mayonnaise that was close to expiring within a few months. And my bad for not checking. This one is April 8th, 2022. So I have my 422 on top. So I've got some time on this. But I went to do something. I went to make a salad. And I was out of mayonnaise in the refrigerator. And I went to the pantry. And the mayonnaise, the color, you know, it should be this nice kind of creamy. It was like looked like it got a suntan. Like that doesn't look very good. So I Googled how long you can use mayonnaise, and it said if it's open, you can put it in the refrigerator for so long, and so on and so forth. You can Google it yourself and look it up. But it ended up that the mayonnaise I had, I really shouldn't have been using. The color changed. I was not chancing mayonnaise. So I ended up throwing out 2 jars of mayonnaise. One was going to expire within a month. My mother needed mayonnaise. I gave it to her. She used that right up. It was a shame. I had to throw it out. I didn't feel safe using it. I'm not making my family sick over the fact that I refuse and I'm going to use it past an expiration date. No. But what happened is he no longer wants mayonnaise. So I bought all this mayonnaise and I did the same thing with ketchup. He was on a ketchup kick. Bought all this ketchup. Think, oh yes, stock up. Got to have a stockpile. Loaded up my pantry. Turns out he doesn't want ketchup anymore. We are not big ketchup people. One bottle of ketchup could last me a year. And every time you order takeout, you get packets of ketchup. So we have packets of ketchup. So I went through my ketchup. I destashed it, passed it along. Who needs ketchup? It's barbecue season. Here in New Jersey, 97 plus degrees today. Same thing tomorrow. Everybody's barbecuing. 4th of July is coming up. I passed that ketchup around, got rid of it. Good deal. My son's taste buds change, but so do mine. You know, I'm into rice cakes right now. I love rice cakes, but then I get sick of rice cakes. Don't buy 20 packages of rice cakes for one person, 2 or 3, 4 people. You know, buy a smaller amount that you know you could use up within a reasonable amount of time. You can always buy some more, but don't panic buy. Don't go crazy because there's a sale and think you have to buy 100 of them. You do not. I am not a large family. I know there's a lot of great channels out there, large family living, and you know, they got 20 kids, 10, 12, 15 kids. That's not who we are. The average family is not a large family. So I'm coming at you from a smaller family. You know, it could be a family of one. You could be a family, I would say, of 4 to 6. That's probably, you know, my pantry would accommodate that size. It is not a pantry for a large family. Okay, guys, I think that's it. So don't panic. Do not panic. Do's and don'ts from my pantry pandemic notes of my do's and don'ts. Don't overbuy. Don't panic. Don't buy foods that you won't like. Make sure you check the expiration dates before you purchase the food to get the longest shelf life. Do buy the foods that you will eat. Don't buy the foods that you will not eat. Do rotate your foods. Do make sure you write expiration dates clearly. Whatever works for you. Example, 6/22 muffin mix. Now, I probably will opt to freeze this or do something like that. I'm not going to keep this for a whole year in this box. But for now, it's on the shelf. I am destashing, cleaning out, and reorganizing. Once I've done that, I'm going to be looking through and saying, okay, I have probably 25, where's my bag of rice here? 25 to 30 pounds of rice based on the amount of bags of rice I have. We don't eat a lot of rice, but we do use it for our dog. But I probably have 50 pounds of rice in these bags of the amount of rice given to me that I'm giving away. I wish some of you lived near me. I would share the wealth with you as well. But for the rice that I do have, I have vacuum sealed my rice. And I have the date on here when I vacuum sealed it. The seal is still good. It's airtight. There's no air in there. I have sucked the air right out. This is supposed to be good for 20 years. I don't think I'll keep it for 20 years. There's no bugs in it. Clean jar. And there you go. So I will be vacuum sealing some more of my rice. I do have a video on vacuum sealing. I was new, kind of just starting out, learning the ropes. I probably need to do a refresher. Maybe I'll do that once I'm done with the pantry on what I've learned about vacuum sealing and show you some simple tips of what I've learned. But you can vacuum seal, you can freeze it. There's all kinds of things that you can do. So hey guys, I hope the do's and don'ts of having a pantry during the pandemic, what I learned. Now I want to move forward and I want to restock and regroup. Fresh new start of my pantry. Moving forward, no masks, living life somewhat normal here in New Jersey. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to just having a fresh start. I am so glad you're here. You took time out of your busy schedule to spend it with me. That's an honor to have you watch my video and to be part of my life and part of my journey. Thanks for stopping over. Love to hear from you guys in the comments. Leave me any pantry tips that you have. Did you panic buy? Leave me a note. What did you panic buy? What did you buy? What are some of your do's and don'ts that you have? Leave some good information in the comments. Let's get a thread of good information in the feed there so that other people can, you know, dive in there and read that information. Let's help each other out here. We're all in this together. Thank you so much, and we'll catch you on the next video.